Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we will be moving through a short sequence specifically for our core. So, we'll think of some spinal movement with a weight. So, I have this wonderful ring. It's called a Bala Ring. We have these in our altar store if you're curious. It's 10 pounds. So I'm going to use this today. If you have one of these, go ahead and grab that. If you do not, 10 pound, 5 to 10 pound dumbbell will work as well. You can do this whole sequence without the weight as well. Okay, so we start seated. We're going to get right into it. Knees are going to come wide, feet are forward, and we're going to start with a bit of spinal flexion and extension. So let's let the weight of the torso and the weight of the head release down to the floor, feeling that bent spine. And then we'll slowly rise up and do the opposite with our spine. So take a little arc of the spine coming right up onto the sitting bones. I like to take a hold of the legs in some way, and we're just pulling those shoulder blades toward the back, lifting the sternum, lifting the head, and then doing the opposite. So just keep it quite gentle to start off with. This is the first movement that you're doing of the day. Extra gentle if you've been warmed up. If this is the middle of the day or toward the end of the day, you may have the ability, the wanting to take this movement a little bit bigger and maybe a little faster than I'm doing. So feel free to listen to that knowing inside of you. Good. I'm going to do one more here, extending the spine from the tailbone up through the heart space, through the crown of the head, and then flexing the spine and releasing out of that extended spine. Great. And then from here, we're going to sit upright. We'll take a hold of our legs in some way, or you can take a hold of the outer edge of your surface, and we're going to gently roll down our spine one vertebra at a time. As we come onto the back, let's hug the knees into the chest and take 2 subtle breaths, feeling that movement of the air inside the low belly. Relax your feet. Feel that motion of the inhale pressing into your side waist. Good. Good. And then from this position, we'll bring the feet back down to the floor. We'll reach the arms forward, chin to the chest, and slowly peel our spine off of the floor, considering one segment of the spine at a time. So here's the option to bring in the weight. You can do this with or without. Weight is out in front to start off with. One segment of our spine at a time. We roll down, we roll down. If you have the weight and feel comfortable doing this, lift that weight right above the head, perhaps even past the head, still pressing your lower back into the floor, reaching that weight straight above the chest option. This may be the more challenging option. So if you feel like you can't quite curl up, the weight is going to come a little forward to actually support you in this spinal flexion, rising up, rising up, rising up, rising up into our seated position. Let's try that one more time. Rocking off of those sitting bones, tailbone, feel lower back, middle back, upper back, coming down to the floor. Weight lifts above you, maybe even toward those ears. Be mindful of shoulders. No force, no force here. Control and strength. Good. Arms lift up. That weight lifts up. We lift straight up, right? One segment at a time, right up to our upright seated position. Good. From here, we're going to bring our feet a little wider. We're going to bring our right elbow to the left knee. We're going to take that left heel down and cross, right? The weight across the body, maybe tapping right elbow to the floor, left heel to the floor. We bring it back to center and we cross. Opposite, right elbow, left knee. Left heel down, we rotate to the right. Maybe that right elbow releases down, not a have to. One more time. We cross. and rotate. Good. Back to center. Let's try the other side. So we're here, we're a little leaning back, right? We're not totally tall and upright, little lean back, knee to elbow, left knee, right elbow, right heel down. We rotate to the left, maybe a little tap down, elbow. Knee to elbow, we cross and tap. Cross, moving from the spine, and we tap. Good. Let's bring it back to center. Yes, both feet down. Weight reaches out in front, lower down. Segment by segment by segment. That's it. Weight goes above the head. We can hover right there or a little bit beyond the head. Press your lower back into the mat. Good. Now we're going to bring that weight right on top of our hips. We can hold the weight there if you feel comfortable to let the weight linger there without the support of your hands. We do this. We're going to lift up into our bridge. This bridge, we're going to untuck the bum and tap the sitting bones and tailbone to the floor. Hold that position in your lower spine. Push the pelvis right up. So we're going to maintain this tiny little arc in our lower spine as we tap the bum down and as we push the hips up. A number of times like this. Hands can be on the floor. Hands can be supporting that weight. Option to reach those arms alongside the ears. You could try all three, see which one feels perhaps the most challenging today if that's what you're aiming for, or the most restorative today for the shoulders if that's what you need. Good. A few more times. We tap tailbone, sitting bones. We hold that position in our lower spine as we lift the bum away from the floor. Nose breath. Excellent. Once the bum comes down, press the lower back into the floor, take a hold of the weight, lift the weight straight up or straight forward. Do the variation that you can move through today. Good. Now from this position, we're going to bring the feet a little closer to the bum with the option of pressing into a squat, lowering our bum back down. So this is just an option. Another option we could be going through here is coming back, weight down to our cat-cow, seated cat-cow movements, right? So I'll go through this other option if you're wanting to play a little today and see if the weight can support you. You know, might have a little bit of curling up momentum to bring your feet forward, push that weight forward, seeing if we can come up towards a squat, either on your heels or off of your heels. The weight comes forward, little counterbalance. We lower the bum down and lower down one vertebra at a time. So let's try it out together. We're rolling back up, either coming right into our seated cat-cow movements, or the weight is coming forward. We're reaching forward, pushing into those feet. We rise up. That's it. Lowering back down. Nice job. Good. Feet come wide. Right elbow, left knee. Let's cross and tap. Maybe we can take this range a little farther. So we cross, little crunch up. Can we extend that left leg longer? Can we lean back a little farther to the right? And rising up. One more time. We tap down, rising up, right to the other side. Again, maybe we keep a limited range, right? Something like this. Totally amazing. Listen to the body, right? Maybe we can start to, over time, increase that range. Back to center. That's it. Both feet down. Weight reaching out in front, maybe even a little higher, but still slow and controlled through that flexed spine. That's it. Weight comes on to the pelvis. A few more times, right up into the bridging. Take your feet a little farther out in front of you. We tap the bum down. We push into the feet, lifting up. A little tuck of the bum at the top. Now, untuck the bum. Tap the sitting bones, tailbone down. Push the bum up, tuck the bum, press the pelvis up a little higher. Let your glutes support that lift. Untuck the bum, free the bum. We tap one more time like this. We lift up, tuck the bum, curl it up, curl it up. We tap down, release down. Have a moment here. Option to keep the weight if you're enjoying a little bit of that pressure here. Lower rib cage into that space around the lower belly, around the top of the pelvis. If you have the ring, this one kind of disperses the weight in a really nice way. If you have a dumbbell, right, quite uncomfortable. So feel free just to release that weight to the side. Let's take our feet out to the edges of the mat and do some windshield wipering movements here of your legs side to side. We'll take the legs side to side. Once the knees are going to the right side, start to engage this left bum and stretch and reach from that left front of the hip down through that left inner knee as the bum is engaged. Take a breath in that position. Okay, try the same thing on the other side. Knee shifting over to the left, engage the right bum cheek, reaching out, reaching long through the right knee, front of the hip. Excellent. Back to center, hug the knees into the chest. Give a little rock and roll, side to side, up and down if you desire for your lower spine. And then I'll encourage you to find a sweet spot to rest into for a few breaths together today. Placing hands onto the lower torso, coming right into your subtle nose breath. A little less volume of air, just quieting the breath down. Feeling that rhythmic motion. Diaphragm free to move in that softer belly. Sensing that expansion of the inhale and that receding release of the exhale. Diaphragm moving up and into the lower rib cage cavity as we exhale. The diaphragm moving downward as we inhale. So this is a wonderful standalone practice. If you just had a short amount of time today, this could be a nice lead up to a longer practice of strength, or perhaps you thread into a meditation time or another type of breathing practice today. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here with me, and we'll see you very soon.